So you mentioned the scientist era, you mentioned the trial and error. My only thought was, how did you deal with the self-doubt, the setbacks? How did you personally deal with all that?
So we're still actually, that actually never really stops, because until today, we still are constantly trying to make new products. So I'm trying to make ciders and different types of fruit wines and
flavors. Yeah, it's a whole collection.
So the beer is one thing, it's growing, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
It doesn't just stop there. So accounts that we have are always looking for new things, especially local products. So now I'm looking at jackfruit wine and different types of cider from pineapple and other local fruits, dalandan.
Pineapple sounds good.
Calamansi, dalandan, and
Tanan, hotda na tanan ang nasa Mindanao. Tanan farm sa Mindanao.
All the local things, and especially the fruits that we already work with for the dried fruits. So that's always a part of it. Initially it was overwhelming, and it was definitely just having to have faith in what we were doing, because
you mentioned faith in yourself.
Definitely faith in ourselves, and believing that we were on the right track, because there were many times when it was costing us quite a bit to experiment, and then we
over na sa OPEX and CAPEX.
and we didn't feel like we were heading in the right direction. We felt like
giving up. Did you reach that point?
No, never giving up, but definitely just completely overwhelmed that are we gonna be able to compete in this market that already has exciting products out there. But in the end, always just believing in ourselves and knowing confidently that we were gonna come up with great products, and that we definitely can compete and even maybe even be on top. We always have that mindset.
A lot of founders like you, a lot of entrepreneurs like us, we go through a lot of ups and downs, lefts and rights. Sometimes we reverse. A lot of challenges, very tumultuous. You have to be born to do this. You have to be born with a different cloth. And if you don't manage that mental space for yourself, malikoy yun ka. It's a very dangerous, door to go through. A lot of people, when they go through that door, they struggle with depression, whether it's a short term, a long term, or it's just sadness. Matthew, tell me your experiences about these anxiety, if you ever experienced this, to someone that's listening that is going through a tough time. Have you ever had these moments? And when has it been the hardest for you? How did you deal with it?
I definitely have had challenges with anxiety, absolutely. Only recently do I feel like I've finally really become fully confident in myself, and I guess stable would be the best way to put it. What I've found is you have to focus on yourself. You have to prioritize yourself. You have to prioritize your health. Find the people that are healthy for you, and surround yourself with them. Absolutely, yeah. Anxiety definitely plays a
Matthew, when I asked that question, I also had to go back and teleport to the older Karen that was just down and out. The tone of voice of this episode just went down, but I totally understand. Yeah, so how did you deal with it? How did you grow from that?
So basically, just tried to first of all start with having healthy routine. That was something that really helped me a lot, and just continue to learn and educate yourself. That's super important, because the day that you kind of give up on that and stop learning new things,
you die. It's either you innovate or you die.
Exactly, and you just have to. I think the most important thing is building that community around you that is really supportive.
I love how you said, I have to build a community that's healthy for me. I have to put in the effort to find the people around me, the top 5 people that I talk to on a daily basis. That says so much about you, your life, and where you're going. I can't emphasize that enough, Sita Babes. What is the most practical sort of skill that you use on a daily basis, or coping mechanism that you apply to everyday life to move forward, to not look back at that anxious or sad thought or depressed setback thought? What's that coping mechanism or skill that you use daily?
So I always make the biggest effort to never feel sorry for myself, and always try to look at things in a positive way, and when I feel like affected by someone else, I just try to look at it like I feel bad for that person, and
so you reverse psychology and
I try to
oh, you feel bad about me, I feel bad about you. Okay.
So for me that at least works. Different for everyone, I guess.
Oh, that's smart. I asked a practical sort of coping mechanism and you said reverse psychology. I think that's the most intelligent thing to do. Okay, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs who may be afraid to take the first leap and start their own business the way that you did? Younger Matthew, like talk to younger Matthew right now. Like what would you tell him?
I would say just do the research.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Understand what you're about to step into, the industry you're getting into. Ask people who have been there before, people who you can learn from. Network, get connected in that space so that you know different players who are doing similar things.
Humble down.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions, and always believe in yourself, and just know when to push more or when to try something new, because sometimes the idea are close, but you need to reformulate it slightly, so you can't just force something either.
So do your research, study the market, ask questions, don't be afraid to ask and learn. Always be a student. Ay sigig pabilib nga kabaw na kastanan, no? Number one gyud is to be a student of life. Matthew, let's talk about family, legacy, and your philosophy. Gosh, we face so many challenges and maintaining our health often takes a back seat. But Immuni Plus helped me stay relieved from stress. It refreshed me throughout the day and recovered from my busy schedule. It's a ready-to-drink sachet that supports my immune system naturally. No mixing, no hassle. I've experienced the difference, Sita babes, and I know you will too. Check out Immuni Plus today and take the next step in building a better, healthier you. Relieved, refreshed, recovered. You come from a well-established family. How has growing up in your household influenced your own views on business and entrepreneurship?
It's definitely given me the feeling inside that I can achieve anything. It's definitely pushed me to believe that I needed to do more. Seeing such high achievers around me, 100% of the time, doing insane things and doing huge projects, and it basically pushed me to believe that I can do anything, but also to believe that I have to achieve more.
So really just immersing. I put it this way. I think of myself as a speck of dust on the floor, so that I'm always looking up and just being practically a sponge, and just that's how I say, like, you were in that household and you were just able to witness everything that was going on. But some kids or some people, they don't even take the first step and say, I can do that too. That's why I'm so amazed by all of you, MJ and Miles. You guys work so hard, unlike any other household, and that's why I admire you guys and I respect you so much, because you actually work.
Yes, from a young age, that's something that my family has definitely instilled in us. So like I was saying before, from 11 years old onwards, I would go to the branch 8 hours a day sometimes, and I would do the tellering in the branch. So just
respect.
Sending kwarta padala, people were buying load, whatever they transactions were happening in the branch. I oversaw those. I knew how to do them.
Wow.
And
did you like it, or was it like, if you can't do it, you're grounded?
No.
Or did you like it?
As a young kid.
Honestly, I'll tell Tita.
as a young kid, of course, sometimes you're like, oh, you want to be playing or doing something else, but I did genuinely enjoy it.
Did you understand at that time, like, I have to do this, it's my future?
Well, as funny as it is, like, the way it was explained to me, it must have been it must have sounded exciting because
Did you get like a prize?
we got paid.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. That's fine. Yeah.
I understood that.
I thought you didn't get paid at all.
It was a humble salary, but we did get paid. And at that age, it was exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
We did all types of different things. It was exciting. Some days we spent the day in the office with my dad. We saw all sides, and from a very young age, and until today, I spend time with my grandfather until today, and his different projects that he has, and it's just business and diversifying has always been part of my upbringing, and it will always be. So we'll always be doing almost everything.
It sounds like you finally accepted it. Like, yeah, we're just gonna do everything.
No, but it's good, and there's so much opportunity out there. The Philippines is like growing at such a high rate.
Did you feel a sense of pressure that you had to follow the family footsteps, even though your parents or your family didn't vocally say it because they wanted to naturally lure you in to join the family business? Or from the get-go, when you were young, you wanted to be like a doctor, I want to be a lawyer outside, or you know what I mean? Like, did you have your own journey that you wanted to do?
Yeah, so inside I always knew that like I wanted to work with the family business. So like I didn't also want to come back in and like start stepping on toes. So I was like, where do I fit in this whole thing? And it definitely wasn't in the financial side of things, because I knew that like I originally went to university for that. I went for another degree to culinary school in Los Angeles because it just wasn't for me after working for 4 years in banks, working in
it just didn't really interest you. It didn't give you that passion to wake up every day.
Exactly. And so
it's numbers, and I really see that you're an artist. At the end of the day, I'm an artist.
I want to be in a creative space.
Exactly. I don't like numbers either.
And I'm more in the operations end. I always tend to put myself more in the operations end, just overseeing. So it's exciting. I get to be creative as well, and designing new products.
Constant innovation, constant thinking, constant growing. That's what we do as artists every day. We always just think of different ways to do things. How do you balance family dynamics within the business? Like, there's a strict boundary when you're in the office and all the family members are there. Guys, nothing personal, all business. How do you balance the dynamic where the family doesn't fight, break up, whatever you call it? How do you balance that dynamic?
We definitely have some formal rules in place that everyone has to respect, which kind of navigate the way we carry ourselves and that we interact. And
there's like a handbook.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We definitely, keep things professional, and we always try to tell ourselves, like, as much as this is everything to us, don't take it too seriously. And at the end of the day, like, there has to be a balance, prioritize like happiness, health,
family ties, relationships, brotherhood,
and having long-term employees and treating people well and building organically. That's all part of it. It's a family business, but we like to also have people who are an extension of our family around us, and that's part of like the M Lhuillier philosophy.
This is Daryl's question, actually. What are the advantages and disadvantages of being part of a prominent business family? By the way, shout out to Daryl.
So I would say the connections are definitely helpful. I can't deny it that when you're in a startup, it really helps when, from ground zero, you have a few doors to knock on that you can feel comfortable knocking on, if that makes sense. Family, friends, and social connections that you've made. So that's definitely helpful. When I was starting this out, like I said, in May of last year, I was like, where do we go? Our sales were at absolutely zero. We were like, we have to start knocking on doors and start finding accounts. And I was like, the first accounts I went to, if I'm truly honest, were our own restaurants. So my first customer were...
Of course.
That's of our own restaurants.
That's a no-brainer.
So the beer was automatically there, so I immediately had a little bit of sales.
It was a good way to introduce the product.
That as well, but how grateful I was that from ground zero I had sales from 8 restaurants purchasing my product. That's really helpful. And then from there, I met with other people that I grew up around. So it was just grateful for a lot of the connections. But
so you did the 8 family restaurants, cafes or bars, and then you started cold emailing, cold calls, like
absolutely.
really doing the entrepreneurial way?
I'm no longer the one that we send around. We have
But in person,
we have staff now like who are really well trained and who are great at presenting themselves and their product, and they go all over Cebu. Every day they're visiting someone else. Originally, that was me, and I was knocking on doors, and I was going to the different restaurants and hotels and just putting myself out there. And
What are the cons for being part of a prominent business family, if there is any?
well, sometimes people can have prejudices because maybe they've had a bad experience with one of our businesses, or maybe I would say that would be maybe the biggest challenge. Like sometimes people would be hesitant to carry the brand, but for the most part, it's pretty much all positive.
Okay.
And I must say, like, I'm just really grateful for the family I was born into and all the opportunities that I have ahead of me, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Matthew's family is known for building a legacy in the financial services industry. Matthew, what is your biggest takeaway about finance, and how do you apply that to Bisaya Brew?
So
I love how you just like laugh.
that's a tough question, but we're pretty conservative.
Yes.
Like, we always like to have some money in the bank, to have savings for a rainy day. You never know.
So conservative. That seems like a skill that you take for Bisaya Brew that you learned.
Definitely. That's a part of it. So like I said, with our marketing budget, we try to keep things conservative.
Collaborations like me for the Dali Na Ba music video, Sita Babes. If you haven't seen it yet, it's featuring Nico of Mid Nasty. We do have a collaboration. Okay, sorry, continue.
So I try to use the values that I was raised on, being conservative, saving for a rainy day, but also investing in yourself, always innovating, looking, researching, and trying to keep yourself relevant. Reinvesting in the business is super important.
As they say in Bisaya culture, ipatuyok ang kwarta. Ang kwarta nga para sa negosyo, dili nimo igasto og Lamborghini or balay. Ang kana siyang kwarta, imo gyud na ipatuyok.
You put it back in the business.
Exactly.
That's definitely the foundation that we're trying to build on. Building generational wealth is definitely the most important thing you can do.
What do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur, and what do you not enjoy the most aside from finance?
I'm super grateful about the schedule I have.
The freedom,
Exactly, the freedom,
the flexibility.
It might sound crazy because, like, as much as I say I have freedom, I'm up every day at 5:30 in the morning, and then I'm in the office already by like 8, and then I'm home at like 7:30 at night. So basically, like, I have freedom, but at the same time, like, I choose to be like, working constantly.
It's a freedom, but at the same time, it's a discipline.
Yes, the discipline is definitely a very important part of the puzzle. Basically, being able to be creative, but at the same time invest in other people and build other people up as well. Like, I feel like a leader and an innovator in the industry I'm in, and that's something I've always wanted to be.
Showing up in style, that is bare minimum. Whether I'm in the studio or in the boardroom, H&M is my plug. Just like Cebuana, it's fashion that hits. Fashion and quality at the best price in a sustainable way. Always H&M. Surprise! Since you're a loyal Sita babe, I'm giving you a limited time 10% off discount on your next lash appointment at Yash Eyelash Cebu. Just use my code #YashKarencitta10. You're welcome! Hi, Sita Babes. As a global creative director, I navigate both the creative and entrepreneurial worlds. I've always been in the pursuit for the untold narrative, the lessons that lie beneath the surface, and the unique perspectives that can shape a deeper connection within our community. It's these incredible stories that shape who we are and connect us in unexpected ways. Welcome to the Karencitta Show, Season 2. We're going to have intimate and inspirational conversations with thought leaders about topics that truly matter. After all, we all have a story to tell. Make sure you follow us on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts.